Okay, let's take a much closer look now at the Greenlandic range. There's two very notable details that the Greenlandics are really focused on. First of all, it's a semi-rectangular bag, of course. It's a relaxed mummy-shaped bag. And that's specifically for people that want a little bit more wriggle room and comfort in their sleeping bag, particularly side sleepers. Side sleepers just need a bit more space to be able to go over onto their side, and particularly the space needs to be down at the below the waist to just give a bit more room to the legs. And because of that, the Greenlandics are wider from the waist down, and they've got this much wider footbox. I'll just get a standard mummy bag and put it on top, and you can see what I mean. There's the standard mummy bag. This one's a M-degree bag, and you can see, it's not quite fitting, but it's close. You can see that footbox that we have on the Greenlandic is much broader, and that's specifically done to give a bit of, to give some more wriggle room. But the bag it's still very efficient in its performance. So that's the first key feature of the Greenlandics. And the second key feature is that they're built in very high quality but very light materials. So the Greenlandics are light bags. So they're aimed at people that are wanting comfort. And they're also aimed at lightweight backpackers and ultralight long distance trail walkers, people that really need both comfort and the equipment to be light, because it's going to be carried, and it's suitable for carrying a long way because they are light and they pack down small. So those are the two key features of the Greenlandics. Let's look a little bit more now at the details. First of all, let's have a look at the build and how they've been put together. And then let's look at some of the options, the various options that you have. PhD builds sleeping bags to order. They're bespoke bags really, and every single bag is handmade and built to order, and that gives you the advantages of getting exactly what you want, whether it's exactly the fit or the type of fabric or the zips and zip location and length and so on. So that in all the details of the bag, the options are there to build exactly what you want, and those choices are made before we even get the fabric off the shelf. Right, let's have a look at the start point. This is a Greenlandic 300. It's made in 7 denier fabric, 7X fabric. Now that is a very lightweight fabric. We like lightweight fabrics for these bags because two reasons. First of all, it helps us achieve a lighter weight sleeping bag, a lighter weight piece of equipment, and secondly, light fabrics allow the down to loft further. If you put a heavy fabric on a down, it compresses it, so you lose loft, so you're losing performance. So to get the best weight to warmth, a light fabric really helps us. So this one is 7 denier 7X fabric. That's the start point with these lightweight Greenlandics. The down we've used here is 950 fill power down. That's a very high quality down. It's a goose down. It's a pure goose, 100% pure goose, and it's a very high performing down, and that allows us, the higher the fill power of the down, the higher the loft you gain from a given weight. That's the crucial thing. So to gain this warmth at very low weights of fill in the bag, we use very high quality downs. Now these downs we use are natural downs. They're not chemically enhanced in any way. They've not been stiffened or coated or anything like that. These are natural, high quality downs, and the reason we stick with those, the reason we use the natural downs, is because they give us the best fill power we can get, and they give us the best longevity we can get. Okay, so we're using very light fabrics and very high quality downs to help us get these lightweight pieces of equipment. Now let's have a look at well, if you look at the design of the bag, it's a relaxed mummy bag with some space, with some comfort in it. It has quite a wide entrance at the top, so you can get into the bag without the need of a zip to allow you to enter the sleeping bag. Now we can put zips into these bags for you. We can put short zips in or full length zips. A full length zip is a two-way zip. It has 2 sliders, so you can just open up the bottom from the bottom and cool off your feet if you want, or you can open the whole bag. We can put those zips in the left or the right hand side for you. You decide which suits you. If you're a right-handed person, you would normally put your zip on the left hand shoulder, the left hand side, so it's comfortable, it's easy to reach over and undo the zip in that place. But there's another zip option on our product page there, which is the foot zip. Now a foot zip just goes into the bottom of the bag there. It's just a short zip, a very simple piece of equipment, and it just allows ventilation of the feet. Sometimes if your feet are getting quite sore from hard days out on the hill or long days walking, your feet can get a little bit sore and a bit hot overnight from that day's work. So the potential of putting in a zip there just to cool the feet down is worth consideration, and it's a very light option, so it is worth looking at. Now let's have a look at the fabric options that these bags can be built in. The inner and the outer is 7 denier 7X fabric, the lightest option, but we can upgrade the bag for you to put on ultrashell as the outer fabric. Ultrashell is a water resistant fabric. It's got a permanent waterproof coating on it, and that won't be rubbed off, that can't come off. It's on the underside of the fabric, it's the side that touches the down, so it's a long term, it's a permanent proofing. Very, very useful, because if you're going to be using a small lightweight tent that has a potential for condensation to build up, which they do, these small modern tents, they've got smaller and lighter, and condensation seems to be quite a problem nowadays in these small tents. The condensation can really be problematic to a bag if the bag is touching the side walls of the tent. The water on the condensation there is rubbing on the fabric, and it causes problems. So if you use ultrashell, it's a proofed fabric, and that really, really helps with condensation problems in a tent. Adds a tiny bit of weight, but ultrashell is, again, it's another very lightweight fabric, so it's useful, adds a small amount of weight, but it's worth consideration if you're going to find condensation is troublesome. The other outer fabric that we could offer for these sleeping bags is Dry-L-X, and now Dry-L-X is a waterproof fabric. It's a waterproof breathable laminate fabric, and it's tapeable, so the seams are tapeable, so we can put a waterproof shell over these bags by using Dry-L-X. It's like putting a waterproof bivvy over your sleeping bag, but it's permanent. The bag is sewn onto the outer waterproof shell, and that's useful if you're going to be bivouacking where there's potential for your bag to get wet. Of course, even with a fully waterproof shell on a sleeping bag, it isn't a fully waterproof system to sleep out in the rain, because water will get in around the hood, won't it? It can get in there, so you need some sort of protection in heavy rain, either under a tarp or under a protective bivouac, in a bivvy, in a hollow under a shelf or something like that. But we can nevertheless offer this bag with a waterproof shell. And the other thing we can do is just to put a waterproof shell on the Footbox. We can put Dry-L-X just over the foot area, and we can stitch it on and make it permanent, or we can just stud it on, make it removable. And the idea there is that the part of the bag that's most particularly vulnerable to condensation trouble in a small tent is actually the Footbox, and that's because when we sleep with head up and our feet slightly lower, the potential to slide down to the bottom of the tent is heightened, and if there's condensation there, the chance of getting wet feet and wet down there is heightened because of that. So we can just put a waterproof shell just on the foot area. It's a very light way of just protecting that area. So there we have a much closer look at the Greenlandic bags, built in a semi-rectangular shape, a relaxed mummy shape for comfort and for side sleepers, and built in very high performance, low weight materials, the very, very light fabrics, and the 950 down, the very, very high performance downs, to give us a sleeping bag that's got a little bit more comfort than a standard mummy, but still has this core aim of weight to warmth performance of a lightweight piece of equipment. All right, cheers.